Ontario's ombudsman is releasing his annual report. Let's listen in live.
They can, but there's no place to put us. You know, they were putting some people in pantries and in broom closets, and bunks were 3 high. So those are the things that, and I met with the minister after that, and we've continued to press on that issue and share our findings. So that's why we go. That's to see these conditions firsthand. It was a visit by the former Chief Human Rights Commissioner that found Adam Capay, right, that led to our investigation and our ability to make recommendations for reform and segregation. So going there ourselves, seeing firsthand what's going on is a very important part of our role.
Another one with a correctional facility, it was this youth justice center, and this young person strip searched every time he had a visit with his lawyer. Like, what happened there?
Yeah, well, sometimes, the policies and procedures are in place, but they're not followed. And so we've made recommendations on that, and it's another example of our engagement with ministries where we bring these matters to their attention, and we make sure they know that we're watching this. And what we see as improvements in the application of policies and procedures later on.
I haven't had time to dig super deep into it yet. I wonder, did you have any complaints regarding the assistive devices program this year? Like wheelchairs, home oxygen, those kinds of things?
Yeah, you'll appreciate that in 27,000 complaints, I don't have my finger on every one of them, so I can get you that information if you like.
I just wondered if there was anything off the top of your head.
Nothing that has come across my desk.
Yeah. I saw that the OLG complaints are there, something I did a story on, people complaining about not receiving their Super Bowl winnings. What came of that?
Well, that's another instance where, we don't do a formal investigation, but we let the ministry know what we've heard, and we pass on that information, and hopefully what I recall hearing, what I was told was that procedures were changed and steps were taken to make sure that didn't happen again. So we'll see.
You talk about ways that you guys have intervened and changed things, sometimes quite quickly. Is there one that stands out as something you're most proud of?
Well, I think what I would say is I'm very proud of the ensemble of the work that the team has done and what's in this report. I think that the reforms that were the recommendations that we made to reform inspections in long-term care were very important because it was a matter of life and death for a lot of people, and we need to be sure that the long-term care system is prepared for the next pandemic. And so, significant steps have been taken, more PPE, more procedures for transfer of personnel between homes, that type of thing, and just being ready to do inspections in the middle of a pandemic is very important. And what we found was that those stopped. So I wouldn't say that's the thing I'm most proud of, but that's an example of the impact that we have in an area that's very important to people.
In some of these stories, I feel like, man, anyone who's covered one of your annual reports, like it's same over and over again. For example, with the municipal government and them going in private too often or when they're not supposed to. I don't know, is this like willful in some cases? Like, oh, oops, we didn't know?
Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's a matter of changes where, there are turnovers in, for example, municipal governments where people come in and, they didn't go to city council school, and so they're learning on the job, and sometimes, some councils are more attuned to their democratic responsibilities than others, and so that's why oversight always has to be there, and we are there to remind people and share best practices, and I would say for the most part, municipalities are very receptive to our best practices and to the information that we provide. And once we do an open meeting investigation, I'd say 99% of the time those recommendations are well received and implemented.
Is there a larger change that needs to be made, I don't know, to give that city council school?
Well, I think we're always making offers to share information, and we're going to continue to develop communications products and make things available. We do open meeting guides. We have a digest that is searchable with all the previous decisions and cases on that. And so we will continue to educate and inform people about their responsibilities and the information that we can provide.
Services for adults with...
We've been listening to a live press conference down at Queen's Park, listening to the Ontario Ombudsman delivering his annual report. We'll have more on those details throughout the morning and afternoon.